Hey everybody, before I even kick off, I just want to thank all of you for being here. It means so much to me that this idea that came in my head in the spirit of innovation has become this global movement that has all of you come over here. So thank you so much for being here today. I want to tell you guys a little story, and I'm going to tell you a story. I get asked the question about scaling all the time. Sheetal, how do you do it? What do you do? How does it happen? And so I'm going to tell you guys a couple of little stories that I've gone through. So imagine this. It's a beautiful day in Toronto, just like today. You come out of Union Station. It's rush hour. People are running all over the place. There's an energy and a vibe to the city. The birds are chirping. You're walking to your office. This was me 2.5 years ago. We'd just been acquired. We got a ton of stock. I'm making more money than I ever thought I would. I go into the elevator. I go upstairs into our beautiful office building. We got 360 views of the city. I mean, you see the lake, you see the islands, you see the tower. It's just gorgeous. All my friends are there. I was fortunate enough to actually work with all of my friends. We're serving breakfast in the morning, as we do every day. And I go grab my plate of food and sit down at my desk. And all I could think is, how the heck did I get here? I am miserable. I hate every second of it. I'm actually going crazy. I'm like, I can't stand it. And I think to myself, why am I in this situation? Now, we were acquired, and I've been a thought leader and worked really hard to build this amazing network of all of you here today. And I'm being asked to be this territory sales rep. Sheetal, go work in a patch. Could you imagine trying to contain me? Being a territory rep? But what I realized in that moment was I needed to get back to who I am. And I needed to get back to having a scaling mindset. You see, a lot of people confuse scaling with a lot of actions you take. Hence the questions. Sheetal, how did you do it? What do you do? What I want to say is those actions are important, but they only start when you have a scaling mindset. And so there's a couple things that you gotta look at when you start having a scaling mindset. The first thing is risk. You gotta identify risk. The second is relationships, and we'll talk a little bit about relationships in just a moment. And then the last thing is actually giving back. And so here I am, let's go back to that day. Here I am, I'm at my desk, wanting to shoot myself in the head, and I go, I can't do this. So the first thing I did is I started talking to a lot of people, trying to figure out what should I do next. Started looking for opportunities, doing a bunch of research. And boy, I found an opportunity. I found a gap in the market. I saw this gap in the market and I wanted to action on it. But I realized really quickly that when you're about to take risk, you gotta assess risk. You gotta understand where your gaps are. So I needed help. When it comes to risk, there's risk in everything you do. My mom's lens of risk was, beta, you can't quit your job. You're going to lose everything, all your security. And I get it. I got stock options. I mean, we're pre-IPO, and I could see the IPO coming. Like, it's right there in front of us. I'm making great money. I'm working with all my friends. Why would you want to leave that? Why would you risk all this? But I saw a different risk. I saw a risk that if I stay there, this awesome network that's in this room, I'm going to fizzle away. I saw a risk that I'm not going to be a thought leader and be pushing the boundaries that actually excite me. Worst of all, I saw the risk that I'm going to be this territory sales guy and just be sitting working in a patch for the rest of my life. And that was a huge risk for me. And so I went on this journey and I said, let me go and try to figure out how, now that I've assessed this risk, let me go and try to figure out who could come and help me. And so I go in my network and I talk to the smartest people again in my network, a group of people who I actually worked with before, people I know I could go to war with and they got my back because we've been there in the trenches before. And I start talking to them and I go, hey, I'm looking at Mitch right here, who's one of my co-founders, and I go, Mitch, here's this vision, I got this great idea, but you gotta quit your job say bye to all your stock. I don't have any clients, so I'm not going to be able to pay you. And then, by the way, Mitch, you got to write me a check. And what ended up happening was magic. I found 5 other people who all were complementing our skills, and we all came together, and they also had a scaling mindset. And so we went and we embarked on this journey. So the thing with risk is, always assess the risk. In everything you do, there's risk. So let's go talk a little bit about relationships. And I obviously built a lot of relationship capital with the other 5 people that we founded TribalScale with. But here we are, the 5 knuckleheads that we are, and we're sitting outside of our accountant's office because that was like the free desk that we got. We got our laptops open and we're like, okay, let's go. We're going to start. We're going to go down this journey. And so the biz dev guy in me goes into my network and I start, doing my inside sales thing. Like, okay, here's what we want to do. Boom, I get a hit. One of the world's largest media and entertainment companies goes, come on to New York, Sheetal, let's see what you got to do. Now, I've worked with them in the past. So Mitch, myself, Josh, and others put together this deck. At the time, we thought this deck was amazing. It was such a piece of you-know-what. now that I got a real marketing department. However, the idea and the vision of the content of the deck was sound. And so I fly to New York, and I'm sitting in the reception area of this large media and entertainment company, kind of sweating like nervous like today. And I get called into this big boardroom. You could picture it, these big companies, this huge boardroom with 35 people could all sit there. But they got all the decision makers there. I'm scrambling to put my laptop together. I'm sweating. I get this shitty deck up. and I start presenting. But then I start hitting my element, This is what I do for a living. I'm in the zone. I'm like, I got this. I'm seeing heads nod. They're like, yeah, you got this. And all of a sudden this voice comes and the key decision maker goes, Sheetal, close the laptop and sit down. Oh my God, my stomach is turning. I'm sweating profusely. I sit down and I'm like, I just blew it. I just made 5 really smart people quit their jobs, leave all their security. And I just blew it. Everything is counting on this opportunity. And he says to me, Sheetal, is your idea sound? And do you have the right team? I look at him and go, absolutely. The idea is sound, and we got the right team. And he goes, when it was in your best interest, when you worked with me in the past, you would have made a ton of commission because I would have bought anything from you. Except you didn't force me to buy anything that I didn't need. You always took care of me. You always stepped up and did right by us. And today, I'm going to do right by you. I trust you and you got the deal. And that's how we started the company. But the eureka moment in that is, I call it relationship capital, but think of it like a piggy bank. When you build a relationship with someone, don't look for anything in return. Be empathetic and put yourself in their shoes. Start learning from them and do right by them always. And guess what happened that day? He took that piggy bank and smashed it right open and was like, here you go, I'm stepping up for you. And that's amazing. When you actually go and start building upon relationships and actually connecting and doing stuff for others, not looking for anything in return, one day that'll come back in spades. Now there's many of you here that I am super grateful for traveling from so far. And you'll hear Dana later, but Dana I saw this morning, and she's like, only for you would I get up at 3:30 in the morning, leave the Hamptons, and come to Toronto. But that's your relationship capital, and you got to build on that. So it's about giving. So I told you guys that you got to give back. There's many ways you could give back. You could give back to your family and spend quality time with them. You could give to charity. You could donate, you could volunteer. Our give back is this conference. Our give back is to the community. And I'm not just talking about the community here in Toronto. I'm talking about the global innovation community. And this is our give back. And so the spirit of TakeOver has always been, let's take a bunch of money off our balance sheet. And our accountants, I know PwC's in this room, want to kill us. They're like, what are you guys doing? But let's go and give back to the entire community because the high tide makes all boats rise. And so this is our give back. So you're gonna see people here on stage today that is gonna be my give back to all of you. So you're gonna learn from and they're gonna inspire you. But you are also really responsible in this give back. And I want everybody here to do this. As I talked about relationships, I want everybody here to be able to share their ideas and be free about sharing, and collectively, let's harness the smart brain power of this room. I look at a lot of smart faces here, and you guys are all super busy. I know when I try to get on your calendars how hard it is. But everybody has come into this room today, whether you've flown here or you've taken the day out in your calendar. Let's make it as impactful as possible. You are all here for a reason. So, let's go back to that day when I was losing my mind 2.5 years ago. I realized then that scaling was a mindset thing. And I had to change, get into a position where I could start using that scaling mindset. So what do? Risk. Remember, assess risk. There's risk in everything, even if you stay at your current job. There is risk there. Build relationships and truly be empathetic and put yourself in someone else's shoes and start building your own relationship capital. Make sure you give back. You have to stand up and give back to the community that supports you. And then you will not only have the scaling mindset, but you will also start having scaling actions in your day-to-day life. Now, I got something for everybody here. You all must do these 3 things. The first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna go and watch a lot of panels, and you're gonna learn from the speakers on stage. You're gonna learn from what's working, and you're gonna learn from how they're fucking up, all right? And you're gonna learn from that, so do that. The second thing I need everybody here to do is go to a workshop. You know when you saw the agenda, and you saw, I don't think I'm gonna attend that workshop? That's the one you're gonna go to today. I'm dead serious. Go learn a skill you never had before, all right? So go to that workshop and open your mind. The third thing you're gonna do is you're not gonna stick with the clique that you know. I say my network is my net worth, and I said this last night, and the net worth of this room is amazing. So you're gonna go and meet 5 people you never met before, and you're gonna start building your relationship capital. And I promise you, tomorrow, you're not only gonna change the trajectory of your business life, but you're gonna change the trajectory of your personal life. And when you do that, that's when magic happens. Thank you.